Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive. Today, we're going to try to make sense of Macpower CNC Machines Ltd.
We're going deep into their Q1 and Q2 FY25 conference calls and presentations.
Really looking at their performance and plans for the future?
It's going to be like we're sitting in on their strategy sessions.
Yeah, 2 Concalls and the slide decks that go with them. So much info.
We'll break it all down for you.
Macpower is seeing crazy growth right now.
Yeah.
And we want to find out what's driving it.
What it means for their future, too.
Okay, so before we get into the numbers,
Sure.
what does Macpower actually do?
They make computerized, numerically controlled machines, CNC machines.
Okay, so what's that in plain English?
Imagine a robot sculptor
Oh, hey?
that can carve metal with incredible precision,
Wow.
following a digital blueprint.
So these machines are turning designs into physical objects,
Exactly.
kind of like a super high-tech 3D printer for metal parts.
Yeah. And we're not talking about just any parts. We're talking components for cars, airplanes, smartphones, even medical devices.
Wow.
Almost every manufacturing industry relies on these CNC machines.
Okay, so Macpower is supplying the tools that make modern manufacturing possible.
That's it.
And they're not a one-trick pony either.
Nope.
Over 315 models and variants catering to 27 different industry segments.
That's right.
Pretty impressive.
That kind of range is a real strength. Makes them adaptable.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's get into Q1 of FY25.
Okay.
They had a pretty strong start to the year, didn't they?
Definitely. Record-breaking. Actually, revenue EBITDA and profit after tax, PIT, were all at their highest ever for a Q1.
Okay, so they're not just growing, they're setting new records. That's what gets investors excited. What drove that performance?
Their focus on high-value machines really stood out.
Okay.
Especially those in their Nexay vertical.
What's that?
It's their line of premium products.
Okay.
They represent a big chunk of their order book now.
So it's not just selling more machines.
It's selling more of their higher-end machines.
Higher profit margins, usually.
Interesting. Another factor
Yeah.
was their push into the defense and aerospace sectors, right?
Absolutely. They reported supplying over 200 machines to defense factories,
Wow.
including big names like DRDO and ordnance factories.
Huh.
And over 100 machines went to aviation and aerospace clients,
Okay.
like HAL and ISRO.
Wow. Supplying to organizations like that
Yeah,
definitely boosts their reputation.
for sure.
Yeah.
Shows they can handle demanding industries.
That need high quality and precision.
Exactly.
Those sectors also usually mean long-term projects, right?
Usually.
Yeah.
Which can lead to a more stable revenue stream for Macpower.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
So strong Q1 performance driven by high-value products and a focus on those key industries. What about Q2? Did they keep that momentum going?
More than that, they accelerated it. Q2 was even better than Q1.
Wow.
Another round of record-breaking revenue, EBITDA and PAT.
They're on a roll. How much did they grow?
Revenue jumped 13% year over year.
And profit after tax surged by 21%.
So they're really outperforming the market.
Definitely. Seems like.
What's driving this continued success?
Well, their order book hit an all-time high in Q2. It reached 3,065 million.
So they're not just fulfilling orders, they're racking up new ones like crazy.
At a record pace.
Strong indicator of future growth, right?
Absolutely. It gives them visibility and predictability.
And remember those NXA machines?
Yeah. What about them?
They represented 35.5% of their order book value in Q2.
Wow. So they're really focusing on those high-value products.
It's paying off for Formatus. Customers are willing to pay a premium, it seems.
It seems so. Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about what's behind this growth.
Sure.
The Concalls mention some government initiatives that are helping companies like Macpower.
Right. Things like the Make in India program.
Can you unpack that a little?
Yeah. The government is really pushing domestic manufacturing
Okay.
and import substitution.
Interesting. So this creates a good environment for Macpower.
A really good environment since they're producing goods within India?
So they're riding this wave of national self-reliance.
That's one way to put it.
But it's not just government policies, is it?
No, they're not just riding the wave.
What else is Macpower doing?
They're investing strategically in R&D.
Okay.
They're not content with their current product line.
Right.
They want to push the boundaries.
And they're opening a new R&D center in Bangalore.
Uh-huh.
Smart Move Bangalore is a huge tech hub.
It's like the Silicon Valley of India.
They'll have access to so much talent there.
Tons of talent.
But with all these orders, can they keep up with demand?
That's the challenge, right? Production capacity is key.
What are they doing about it?
They're expanding capacity aggressively.
Like how?
Their existing plant is being upgraded to produce 2,500 machines a year by March 2025.
Wow, that's a big increase.
Yeah, but even that might not be enough.
And what about that new factory we keep hearing about?
The one under the MOU with the Gujarat government?
Yeah, the one for the Defense Corridor project.
That's going to boost their production even more.
They're not messing around.
No.
And they're thinking globally, too, aren't they?
They are.
Showcasing their products at international trade shows, seeking partnerships, and maybe even joint ventures with global CNC manufacturers.
They're going for it.
Ambitious.
For sure.
Let's talk about their financial health.
Wow.
What kind of shape is Macpower in?
Oh, this is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
They're almost completely debt-free.
Wait, nearly zero debt?
Pretty much.
How's that possible?
Especially in manufacturing.
It really speaks to their strong financial management and disciplined approach to growth.
Interesting.
They've had positive free cash flow since 2017-18.
What does that mean?
It means they're consistently bringing in more cash than they spend.
So they're growing and making money.
And generating cash.
Powerful combination.
Very.
What else stands out?
Their EBITDA and PAT margins are industry-leading.
So they're efficient.
Very. They control costs. What about their ownership structure?
High promoter holding.
Meaning?
Founders and management have a big stake in the company.
They're invested in their own success.
Big time.
Okay, so strong financials, strategic growth, committed management team. Sounds perfect.
Almost, but there are always challenges.
Right, of course. What did they mention in the Concalls?
Well, one thing was competition.
Oh, right, of course.
The Indian CNC machine market is getting pretty heated.
How so?
They mention a competitor that's growing at 30%.
Wow, that's fast. How do they plan to stay ahead?
They emphasize their advantages.
Like what?
Their wide range of products, their strong brand reputation, and their deep understanding of the Indian market.
Okay, so they're confident in their position.
They seem to be, yeah.
Any other concerns?
They mentioned capacity constraints.
Right, with that huge order book.
Exactly. There's been talk of needing overtime to boost production.
Those expansion plans can't come soon enough?
Nope. And going global is never easy either.
What challenges did they mention there?
Building a strong dealer network for service and support.
Makes sense. International customers expect that.
They do. It's not just about selling the machines, it's about providing ongoing support.
Especially in new markets where they might not be as well known.
Exactly. Building those relationships is key.
Right, so we've got this company performing well, growing fast, ambitious about the future, realistic about the challenges too. But why should our listeners care?
Their success is about more than just one company.
Okay, how so?
It reflects a larger story that's happening in India and globally.
What story is that?
A global shift in manufacturing.
Or are you talking about reshoring?
That's part of it, but it's bigger.
Okay.
Countries like India are becoming manufacturing powerhouses.
And Macpower is right in the middle of it.
With their high-quality, technologically advanced products.
So their story gives us insight into the forces shaping the future of manufacturing.
It does. It's important stuff.
But what about those risks we talked about?
They're real.
Could they derail Macpower's growth?
They could, but Macpower seems aware of them.
That's good.
They're not just hoping for the best. They're actively working to address those challenges.
That's reassuring. So they're being proactive.
They are. They're focused on R&D, building a strong management team, and forming strategic partnerships.
They're not shying away.
Nope. They seem to have a solid foundation.
Now, you said they're almost debt-free.
Almost.
That's unusual in manufacturing. Why is that such a big deal?
Debt can be risky. It can fuel growth.
Right.
But it can also become a burden.
If things go wrong.
Exactly. By having almost no debt, Macpower has more flexibility.
It's like a safety net.
It is. Gives them more room to navigate tough times.
To make bold moves.
Without being weighed down by interest payments.
It makes them attractive to investors, too.
Very. Who doesn't love a clean balance sheet?
All right, so their financials are solid. How about their competitive advantages?
Well, their wide range of products is a big one.
Over 315 models and variants, we said?
Right. That allows them to meet a lot more needs than their competitors.
It's like a one-stop shop for CNC machines.
You could say that.
No matter what you need, they probably have it.
Probably.
Yeah.
And it means they're not reliant on any single market.
Smart.
If one area slows down,
yeah,
they can focus on others that are doing well.
Flexibility is key.
Very key.
What else sets them apart?
They're committed to customized solutions.
What does that mean?
They don't just sell machines off the shelf. They work closely with customers to understand their needs.
So they tailor the machines to fit.
Exactly. It's about building relationships.
Not just transactions.
Right.
Yeah.
That builds trust and repeat business.
And their deep knowledge of the Indian market helps too.
For sure. It gives them an edge over international rivals.
How so?
They understand the local business culture,
Okay.
the regulations, the specific challenges their customers face.
So it's local expertise.
Local expertise is key.
Okay, but every company has weaknesses. What are Macpower's?
One area for improvement might be their international presence.
They're working on it though, right?
They are, but they're still mostly focused on India.
That could limit their growth.
It could if the Indian economy weakens.
Or if international competition gets tougher.
Right. Diversifying geographically could help.
Makes sense. Another potential weakness,
Their reliance on a small number of key people.
the founders and senior management.
Yeah. They're crucial.
What if one of them leaves?
It could cause disruption.
So a deeper bench of talent is important.
Very important.
And what about that high promoter holding?
It's usually a good sign.
Right.
It also means fewer shares are publicly traded.
And that can limit liquidity for investors.
And affect the stock's price.
Okay, so some risks to think about.
Definitely.
But overall, they're doing well.
Yeah, they are. Growing fast, ambitious.
And aware of the challenges.
Yes, very important.
Let's zoom out for a minute.
Okay.
What trends are shaping manufacturing globally?
One big one is automation.
Robots and all that.
Exactly. Labor costs are rising. Technology is advancing. Companies are turning to automation to be more efficient.
And to cut costs.
Right. That's a big opportunity for Macpower.
Because
They make the machines that power automation.
Ah, I see.
Yeah.
But they have to stay ahead of the tech curve, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Otherwise, their machines become obsolete.
What else is happening?
Sustainability is becoming huge.
Everyone's talking about it.
Consumers, investors, governments, they all want companies to be more responsible.
Environmentally and socially.
Exactly. Manufacturers are under pressure to reduce their impact.
So it's not just about making things.
Right?
It's about making them in a way that's good for the planet.
And good for society.
Macpower has those solar panels.
They do.
And that zero liquid discharge system. But is it enough?
It's a good start.
Yeah.
They can build on that.
By doing what?
Investing in even more energy-efficient tech.
Okay.
Reducing waste, sourcing materials ethically.
So they can win business from eco-conscious customers.
Exactly.
But it takes effort.
It does. It's a long-term commitment.
What else is out there?
Data and analytics are becoming super important.
Big data.
Right? Companies are collecting tons of data.
From their machines, their sensors.
From their entire supply chain.
Okay.
And they're using it to improve everything.
To get smarter and more efficient.
Yep. And to adapt to changing conditions.
So where does Macpower fit into all of this?
They have to make sure their machines are part of this data revolution.
By doing what?
Making sure their machines have the latest sensors.
To collect all that data.
Exactly. And they have to develop the software
Uh-huh.
to help customers analyze it all.
So they have to think beyond the hardware.
They do. They have to become a solutions provider.
To help their customers make sense of all that information.
Right. It's a big opportunity for them. It's a big opportunity for them.
Okay, so we've got a pretty clear picture of how these global trends are impacting Macpower's business. But what about their specific strategy for navigating this complex landscape? What are they doing to capitalize on the opportunities and mitigate the risks?
That's the million-dollar question. Well, first, they're doubling down on R&D.
We talked about that new R&D center in Bangalore.
Right. A huge investment.
Shows they're serious about innovation.
They are. Second, they're expanding their capacity like crazy.
Upgrading that existing plant.
Yep. And building that new factory in Gujarat.
They're really going for it.
They are. They want to be ready for that growth.
And going global, too.
Yeah, exploring partnerships, joint ventures even.
With those big international players.
It's smart. They can leverage those relationships.
Tap into new markets, get new tech.
Exactly. But they're not just focusing outward.
What do you mean?
They're paying attention to their internal culture, too.
How so?
Building a strong culture that values innovation, customer service.
And sustainability.
All of it. They're attracting top talent.
Giving employees the power to make a difference.
Exactly. They get that their people are key.
It's not just about having a great product.
It's about having a great team.
Okay, so ambitious vision, solid foundation, but can they pull it off?
It's tough to say for sure, but they've got a lot going for them.
Strong financials, good strategy.
Experienced leadership team, And they're in a market that's growing fast.
But those risks are still out there.
They are competition, execution challenges.
And they're still heavily reliant on the Indian market.
Right. If the Indian economy stumbles, they'll feel it.
Makes diversification even more important.
Absolutely. And we can't forget about their reliance on those key leaders.
If someone leaves, it could be disruptive.
It could. But hey, that's business, right? Always some uncertainty.
Keeps things interesting. Before we wrap up,
Yeah.
let's look at those credit rating reports.
Good idea. Gives us an outside perspective.
What do they say?
Well, they highlighted their MSE1 certification from CRISIL.
What's that all about?
Basically, it means they're seen as a very low-risk borrower.
So financially very healthy.
They have a great track record.
Even more impressive given they have almost no debt.
Exactly. It makes them very attractive to investors.
Gives them a lot of flexibility, too.
A lot. And the reports also pointed out their efficient working capital management.
Okay.
Their high asset turnover, their strong promoter holding.
All things we've talked about.
Exactly. The reports back up what we've been seeing.
A well-managed, financially sound company.
With a clear strategy for success.
All right, so we've looked at their financials, their growth drivers, the risks they face.
Yeah.
Now let's get into some specific metrics.
Okay, like what?
Things like market share, realizations,
Yeah.
order book value, order book execution timeframe.
Good stuff. Let's start with market share.
Okay.
They actually have a pretty small share of the Indian CNC machine market right now.
Really? Only 2% to 4%?
Somewhere around there. It's a big market,
Okay.
but it's also very fragmented.
Lots of players.
Tons, both organized and unorganized.
So for Macpower to grow their share,
Yeah.
they're going to need a really focused strategy.
They are. It's not just about building machines anymore.
What else is it about?
Building a strong brand, a wide distribution network.
Okay, so reaching those customers effectively.
Exactly. Now about realizations. Their average realization per machine in Q2 was 18.7 lakhs.
So how does that compare to their competitors?
Hard to say exactly. Different manufacturers focus on different parts of the market.
Okay.
Different levels of complexity and all that.
Right. But overall,
Their realizations seem pretty average.
and they're trying to increase those realizations.
By focusing on higher value products.
The NXA line.
Exactly. But they have to stay competitive on pricing too.
It's a tough balance.
It is. And their focus on backward integration helps.
So?
By making more components themselves.
Right.
They can reduce their reliance on suppliers.
So they have more control over costs.
More control means better margins, potentially.
Okay, what about their order book?
It's at a record high right now. 3,065 million as of September 30th.
Lots of demand.
Tons. But the question is,
Yeah.
what's the execution time frame?
How long does it take to deliver those orders?
Right, because a big order book doesn't mean much if you can't deliver.
Makes sense. So how long does it usually take them?
Their cycle is usually 4 to 6 months,
Okay.
which means those orders should become revenue over the next couple of quarters.
So a strong order book is good
Very good. But they have to execute efficiently.
to turn those orders into actual revenue.
Exactly. How are they doing that?
Yeah, how are they ensuring smooth execution?
Investing in capacity, streamlining production, strengthening their supply chain management.
Okay, so they're making sure they can handle it.
They are, and they're working closely with customers.
Communication is key.
It is keeping everyone informed, managing expectations.
What else is interesting about their order book?
The composition is interesting. They've got a lot of Nexay orders.
Shows that focus on higher value products is working.
It does. And they have a good mix of domestic and export orders.
Okay.
Their export business is still small.
It's growing.
It's growing. They were at that EMO exhibition in Germany.
Trying to break into that global market.
It's a tough market, though.
What are the challenges there?
Building brand awareness is a big one.
In a new market.
Yeah. They need to get their name out there.
And build trust.
Trust is key. And they need the right distribution channels.
To actually reach those customers.
Right. And of course, they have to adapt.
To the specific needs of each market.
Every market is different, and the competition is fierce.
They'll be up against the best in the world.
The very best. They have to be ready.
To compete on quality, tech, service, price.
Everything. Innovation's going to be huge.
They have to stay ahead.
And understand what those global customers need.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot.
We have.
Financials, growth, risks, key metrics. But how does Macpower's story fit into India's manufacturing sector as a whole?
That's a great question. Their success really shows how much India's manufacturing sector is growing.
Okay.
The government is pushing it with Make in India.
Right.
They have a young population, a skilled workforce,
A lot of potential.
and growing domestic demand.
So the conditions are right for companies like Macpower to flourish.
They are. And Macpower's focus on things like innovation, technology, global expansion.
It all fits perfectly with India's goals.
It does. India wants to be a global manufacturing leader.
And Macpower is kind of a symbol of that ambition.
You could say that. Now, remember those global trends we talked about?
Automation, sustainability, data analytics.
Yeah, those are all playing out in India, too.
So Macpower is not just benefiting from India's growth.
Right.
They're also positioned to ride these global trends.
Exactly. Let's take automation, for example.
Okay.
Indian companies are adopting automation more and more.
To boost productivity and compete globally.
Exactly. That creates a huge market for Macpower's machines.
But they can't just sell the machines.
Nope. They have to keep innovating.
To stay ahead of those global players.
It's a race. And sustainability is becoming huge in India, too.
Consumers care about it more.
They do. And the government is getting stricter with regulations.
To protect the environment.
Exactly. So Macpower has to adapt.
Reduce their environmental impact.
Right. They've made progress, but they have to keep going.
And they're encouraging their customers to be more sustainable, too.
It's about raising the bar for everyone.
And what about data analytics?
It's changing everything in India, too.
Companies are realizing the power of data.
They are. They want to optimize their operations, improve quality.
And they need help to do that.
Macpower can be that helper. They can provide the tools and the expertise.
So they have to be more than just a machine maker.
Have to be a data solutions provider.
Okay, so lots of opportunities for Macpower.
Definitely. But lots of challenges, too.
Competition, the need to keep innovating,
the need to manage their growth carefully,
and to navigate that complex global market.
It's a journey full of twists and turns.
But that's what makes it exciting, right?
Exactly. Now, let's take a step back and look at how they got here. Their journey's been pretty remarkable.
They started small, but they've come a long way.
They have. It all began back in 2003.
When they were just a private company.
Focused on assembling CNC machines.
They saw the potential early on.
They did. And they understood the importance of vertical integration.
They set up their own manufacturing unit for conventional machines in 2005.
To control more of the process.
They were thinking ahead.
They were. And they always wanted to innovate.
In 2007, they developed their own unique selling proposition.
Their USP, it set them apart.
They wanted to offer something different.
Something better. And they weren't afraid to go global.
They launched their multitasking machine at EMO in 2013.
A huge international trade fair.
They wanted to show the world what they could do.
And they kept expanding their capabilities.
New facilities in 2016.
More product categories.
They were scaling up fast.
Strategically, though, meeting the needs of the market.
And they went public in 2018.
The IPO, a big step.
Raised capital, invested in backward integration.
You were growing up.
And in 2020, they set up their in-house machining facility, sheet metal workshop,
and the powder coating plant.
More vertical integration.
Controlling more of the process.
Reducing their reliance on suppliers.
Smart move. And in 2022, they boosted capacity to 1,500 machines a year.
Wow. They were really ramping up production.
They were. They wanted to be ready for that demand.
And they kept investing.
Coimbatore Tech Center, Shapar Tech Center, Bangalore office in 2023, expanding their footprint.
Building for the future.
It's all about the long game.
So it's been a journey of constant growth and evolution.
They haven't stood still.
Always adapting, always innovating.
That's how they've stayed ahead.
Now let's talk about the people behind this success.
Okay, who are the key players?
Well, the company is led by Mr. Rupesh Mehta.
The chairman and managing director.
The visionary, the driving force.
You could say that he's been in the machine tool industry for over 28 years.
He knows this business inside and out.
He does, and he's not alone.
Who else is there?
Mr. Nikesh Mehta.
The CEO.
Yep, he's got about 17 years of experience himself.
So it's a family affair.
Two brothers leading the charge.
They must have a strong bond.
They seem to. They share a vision for the company.
And a talented team supporting them.
Experts in design, R&D, sales, marketing.
The whole package.
They've built a really strong organization.
One that can handle this rapid growth.
Exactly. Now let's talk about their network.
Okay, they're partners, distributors, suppliers.
They've built a really impressive network across India.
Distributors, business associates, tech centers.
Covering all the key markets.
Providing service and support.
It's not just about selling the machines.
It's about building those relationships.
Providing value, being a true partner.
And their network is always growing.
They're always adding new tech centers, new distributors.
Expanding their reach.
Deepening those relationships.
Their commitment to customer service really stands out.
It does. Those tech centers are key.
They provide training, support, technical assistance.
They're setting their customers up for success.
And they have strong relationships with their suppliers, too.
Absolutely. They work with a select group.
To ensure quality and reliability.
Exactly. And their backward integration strategy actually helps with that.
How so?
By making more components themselves.
Right.
They understand their suppliers better.
Okay.
They can collaborate more effectively.
So it's a win-win.
It is. They're less reliant on suppliers.
But also building stronger relationships with them.
Exactly. This network is a huge advantage for them.
In a competitive market.
A huge advantage. It lets them provide a level of service that's hard to match.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about their products.
Okay.
They have a wide range, we know.
A very wide range.
But what are their key product categories?
Well, they have turning centers.
What are those used for?
Producing cylindrical parts.
Okay.
Things like automobile components, aerospace parts, pumps, valves, medical devices.
Essential, but maybe not the most exciting machines.
Maybe not, but they're workhorses. They're crucial.
And Macpower has a whole range of them.
From basic models to advanced multi-axis machines.
Something for everyone.
Exactly. Then there are vertical machining centers, or VMCs.
Yep.
These are super versatile.
How so?
They can do milling, drilling, tapping, boring.
Wow, a real all-rounder.
It's like a Swiss Army knife.
Used in a lot of industries.
Tons. Automotive, aerospace, die mold making, general engineering, you name it.
And Macpower offers a variety of them.
3-axis, 5-axis, high-speed spindles, automation.
Covering all the bases.
They are. And then there are horizontal machining centers.
HMPCs.
These are for high-volume production,
Okay.
for complex parts. Lots of automation.
Used in industries like
automotive, aerospace, where precision is key.
And their HMCs are top-notch.
They are built for precision and efficiency.
And they have all those specialized offerings, too.
Twin spindle VMCs, drill tap centers.
Double column machines, vertical turret lathes.
They really do have a machine for everything.
But it's not just about the machines, right?
They offer software and services, too.
What kind?
Training, application support, maintenance.
Repair parts.
The whole package. They're a one-stop shop.
Makes sense. So what about their manufacturing process?
Quality control is huge for them.
They have to make sure those machines are reliable.
Absolutely. They use state-of-the-art equipment.
Okay.
They follow strict standards.
Every machine has to meet their specs.
Exactly. They have a whole team dedicated to quality control.
Checking every stage of the process?
Right, from the raw materials to the final product.
It's about building trust.
It is. They're known for their quality and reliability.
It's a key part of their reputation.
Absolutely. Okay, so let's talk about sustainability.
Right.
They've got those solar panels, the zero liquid discharge system.
Right. What else are they doing?
They're really trying to minimize their impact.
And they're encouraging their customers to do the same.
Exactly. They want the whole sector to be more sustainable.
They're trying to lead by example.
And they're working with their employees, too.
To create a culture of sustainability.
It's not just a PR stunt.
They're really committed.
They are. And they're also doing a lot on the social responsibility front.
Like what?
They provide meals to their plant workers.
Okay.
They support education and healthcare initiatives.
Ah.
They have a diverse board of directors.
So they're hitting all those ESG points?
Environmental, social, governance.
They're not just building a company.
Right.
They're trying to build a better world.
It's not just about altruism either.
Okay, how so?
It's good for business.
Really?
It strengthens their brand, attracts talent.
Reduces risks even.
Yep. It opens up new opportunities.
So it's a smart move.
It's the right thing to do and the smart thing to do.
And their sustainability journey continues.
They're always trying to improve.
Setting ambitious goals.
And being transparent about their progress.
Now let's talk about their financial guidance.
Okay, what are they projecting?
They're expecting revenue growth of 25% to 30% for FY25.
Wow, that's ambitious.
They're bullish.
They are driven by strong demand, both in India and abroad.
And their capacity expansion plans.
Of course. Those new factories will help.
Are they confident they can hit those numbers?
They seem to be. They're also expecting to maintain their strong margins.
15% to 17% EBITDA margin.
That's impressive.
But those risks are still there, right?
They are competition execution challenges.
The global economy could slow down.
India's economy, too.
But they're aware of the risks.
And they're trying to mitigate them.
It's a balance between optimism and realism.
Exactly. And they have a history of exceeding expectations.
So they might just pull it off.
We'll see. It's going to be interesting to watch.
What are the key questions for investors to consider?
Well, can they execute those capacity expansion plans?
Smoothly and efficiently.
Right. Can they keep those margins strong?
With all that competition and rising costs?
Exactly. Can they break into new markets effectively?
Diversify their revenue?
Yep. Can they find and keep the best talent?
As they grow bigger.
Right. And can they keep up with the tech?
Stay ahead of the curve.
That's crucial. And how will they manage their ESG impact?
As they get bigger.
Lots of questions.
That's a complex story.
It is, but a fascinating one.
Macpower is definitely a company to watch.
Absolutely. They're a fascinating example of a company that's really embracing those opportunities and those responsibilities. You know, the ones that come with modern manufacturing, they're not just building machines, they're building a company.
One that's thinking about the future.
Exactly. Sustainable, ethical, forward-thinking.
It's a good story.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes you wonder, right?
About what?
As they go global, can they keep up that commitment?
To sustainability and social responsibility.
Yeah. Can they keep doing the right thing even as they get bigger?
It's a tough question. A lot of people are asking it.
It's that balance, isn't it?
Between profits and doing good.
We'll have to see how they handle it.
One thing that really struck me in those Concalls was their focus on innovation.
They talked about it a lot.
They did. They're not content with just following the pack.
They want to lead.
They want to set the pace. That new R&D center is proof.
What kind of innovations are they working on?
Well, based on what they've said and what's happening in the industry, they're probably looking at ways to make their machines even better.
Like how?
More energy efficient, easier to use with automation.
Okay.
Capable of making even more complex parts.
So they're trying to stay ahead of the game.
They are, anticipating what customers will need.
And they're getting into data analytics too, aren't they?
Big time. They want to use data to optimize performance.
Give customers more insights.
Exactly. That data is crucial in manufacturing now.
So they're building intelligent machines.
That can learn and adapt.
And help their customers do the same.
It's a smart strategy. It gives them an edge.
But innovation isn't just about tech, is it?
Nope. It's about people, too.
You got to have the right team.
You do. The best tech in the world is useless without the right people.
To develop it, implement it, support it.
Right. And Macpower seems to get that.
They talked about building a strong culture.
One that values innovation, customer service.
Sustainability, too.
Exactly. And it's not just talk.
They're backing it up with action.
Investing in training, creating a positive work environment.
So people can collaborate and be creative.
That's what separates the good from the great.
It shows they value their employees.
They do. And investors are noticing that.
They're looking beyond just the numbers now.
They're looking at how companies treat their employees.
How they impact the environment, society.
The whole ESG thing.
It matters.
It matters a lot. Yeah. Companies that ignore it are going to struggle.
So Macpower's focus on ESG.
It's good for their business.
It's the right thing to do and the smart thing to do.
Exactly. It creates value for everyone.
For shareholders, their employees.
Their customers, the community, the planet.
So we've covered a lot today.
We have. Their financials, their strategy.
Their commitment to innovation.
Their approach to sustainability.
It's clear they have a bright future.
They do. But like we said, there are always challenges.
No company is perfect.
Competition, economic uncertainty.
Technological disruption can happen to anyone. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle those challenges.
It will. Their journey is far from over.
Yeah. So keep an eye on Macpower Deep Divers.
Their story's not finished yet.
They have a lot to teach us about the future of manufacturing.
In India and around the world.
Until next time, stay curious.